Hey everyone, so here is the video of critical appreciation of the poem Queen's Rival. As we know that we have covered Sarojini Naidu as Nightingale of India in our previous video, and here I come up with Queen's Rivals Critical Appreciation, and it is also written by Sarojini Naidu. The points today we will cover are: first of all, about the poet, then critical appreciation, and at last conclusion. So here we go. Sarojini Naidu. She was born on 13th February 1879 in Hyderabad state, British India, and she died on 2nd March 1949 at the age of 70 in Lucknow, United Provinces, Dominion of India. Her nationality was Indian. Political party was Indian National Congress. By occupation, she was political activist and poet. Her nickname was Bharat Ki Bulbul, and her language was English and genre was lyric poetry. The notable works by Sarojini Naidu are The Golden Threshold, The Bird of Time, The Queen's Rival, If You Call Me, and many more. Here is one quote by her. First is, I am not ready to die because it requires infinitely higher courage to live. Next, we go with Queen's Rival poem. You can read this poem stopping the video. It is a very good and nice poem. And this is actually the third part. It is divided in actually three portions: first, second, and third, and this is the last one. And we go with the Queen's Rival poem critical appreciation. We will cover all these points one by one in on each slide. First is overview. The poem The Queen's Rivals, written by Sarojini Naidu, is based on Persian ballad in which Queen Gulnar asks her husband King Firoz to bring her a rival, means a competitor, as she is tired of her beauty. Empty splendor. Splendor means richness, and happiness, which is shallow. In other words, Queen Gulnar is tired of being an ideal woman whom there is no one to compete. The poem shows influence of Islam and Persian literature on the poetry of Sarojini Naidu. The poem is written in a simple words. There are three stanzas in this poem. So this was the overall of the poem. Next is summary. In the first stanza, Queen Gulnar expresses her desire for a rival to King Firoz, and the latter means King Firoz, promises to bring her a rival, that is a beautiful maid. In the second stanza, King's Wazir brings 7 beautiful brides for Queen Gulnar, but the latter means the Queen Gulnar is still unsatisfied. In the third and the last stanza, the Queen Gulnar sees her 2-year-old daughter, who takes away mirror from the queen and kisses her own image, and Gulnar finally tells her husband that her daughter is her rival, and thus she is satisfied. The lines in the poem are very pretty. Queen Gulnar sighs like a murmuring rose. Give me a rival, O King Firoz. See, in the end of this poem, we find that Queen Gulnar is actually satisfied by seeing that her own daughter is her rival, because every mother on this planet wants her daughter to be more prettier than herself. This is why we find here the things like this. So the next slide is about theme next. In the poem The Queen's Rival, Queen Gulnar asks her husband to bring her a rival as she is tired of her beauty and joy and luxury. King Firoz brings beautiful brides for her, and but she still longs for a rival. Finally, when her young daughter takes away her mirror, teases her, and runs away, Queen Gulnar sees good as she finds her rival in her daughter. The poem depicts that motherhood is an emotion that every woman on earth needs. In spite of having everything, Queen Gulnar feels missing something. She remains dissatisfied with her life, her luxury, and joy. But when she sees her daughter, she feels very good. Motherhood is a priceless gift from nature. No money, no joy, no comfort can be compared to the feeling of motherhood. Sarojini Naidu has explained this well in the poem. So, this was the theme motherhood. Next is simile. It is a literary device that directly compares two things using as or like. The poet uses ample similes in the poem, that is, a young queen eyed like the morning star, like seven fair lamps in a royal tower, like seven bright petals of beauty's flower, ran to her knee like a wild wood flay. Queen Gulnar laughed like a tremulous rose. These all are similes used in the poem, The Queen's Rival. Next is metaphor. It is a literary device that directly refers to one thing by mentioning another. That is, seven new moon tides means seven beautiful brides. This is metaphor. Next, oxymoron. Oxymoron. It is a literary device in which contradictory terms appear in conjunction. Examples are like this: empty splendor and shadowless bliss. These are two oxymorons used in the poem. Next is personification. It is the attribution of human characteristics to the animals and non living things. Example is the peach grows thrilled. So, this is personification. Next is alliteration. It is the occurrence of the same sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. Examples are no savor or salt, the repetition of S and S. My messengers, the repetition of M and M. When springs, when springs winds vacant, W and W is repeated here. Two springs times. Here T and T is repeated. Fillet with fringes. F and F sound is repeated. This means this is alliteration. Next is rhyme scheme. So the rhyme scheme followed in this poem by Sarojini Naidu is A A B B A X B B B X C C. So this is the rhyme scheme followed in this poem. Next is closest meter. The closest meter is iambic pentameter. It is a line of verse with 5 metrical feet, each consisting of one short or unstressed syllable, followed by one long or stressed syllable. This is iambic pentameter. Last is conclusion. The poem depicts that motherhood and that how lonely one feels without his or her children. Queen Gulnar, who has everything that a man or woman dreams of, is still unsatisfied and feels lonely. She feels better only because of her daughter. So, we find in this poem there is the strong feeling of motherhood, and when Queen Gulnar sees her daughter kissing the mirror and kissing her own image, she ultimately finds that her daughter is ultimately her rival and no one else can be there except her. So this is all for today. Hope you like this video. Thank you for now and bye to all. Have a good day.